So, Joe. Joseph.
What? How funny would it be if you started this and you just hit that guy?
And I just hit a pedestrian?
Yeah.
So, Joe. Oh, man.
Classic.
Joe.
What?
What's going on, man?
Hit me with your catchphrase.
Oh. What's up, Joe Tato Heads?
No, your other one.
My catchphrase?
What's the haps on the craps?
Oh, what's the haps on the craps, Joe?
Not much, you?
Not much. I'm really hungry.
Same.
Yeah. You do mukbangs. You do mukbangs a lot. That's a lot of your channel is mukbangs.
Now it is, yeah.
Yeah. It's really changed.
It has.
You used to do sketches that
didn't hit.
No, not that didn't hit. But I was gonna say you used to do sketches that were like really funny and stuff, and now you eat your car. Why do you do that?
I like doing the sketches more. It's just they don't do well.
They don't perform well.
No. I don't know why, because they're hilarious.
It's so weird.
I know.
Your sketches were really funny.
Thank you. And they were different. And they were like, and that's what was like a bummer.
But you don't like doing the mukbangs more.
No, I do. I do, because I can be in front of the camera and like I turn my brain off and I just have fun with it.
Oh, so that's the appeal. That's the appeal of like, well, crap, that just sounds like most of YouTube.
What?
What you just said.
Turn your brain off?
Sitting in front of the camera, turning your brain off and just doing the thing.
No, I think a lot of people are like really worried with how, like appearance and stuff and the things that are coming out. Do you agree or no?
Yeah.
Like
totally.
when I do it, I just like literally turn my brain off and whatever comes out, and then in the edit
Then you edit out all the racial slurs.
Okay, let's not get that out there.
So, Joe Tato Head.
What's up?
I'm wondering something.
What's up, brother?
You also do two things.
Yes.
You edit for Dave.
He edits for me.
No, he doesn't.
Nope.
So I always thought that Dave edited his own thing, his own videos, and that's what he does, right?
Yes.
But what do you do?
On the videos?
Because I've seen you over at his place before, and you're like helping him with this video.
Right. David is the pilot of the ship.
Okay.
Let's say a plane. I don't think ships have pilots.
Okay.
David is the pilot of the plane, and I'm the guy cleaning the bathrooms in the back. And I happen to stumble into the cockpit, and he says, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I say, "It's good. What if you do this and like trim like one frame?" And he says, "Oh, cool." And then that's it.
Gotcha.
So like, I don't really like dive into it.
Yeah.
Only once have I ever taken the computer and said, "Let me do this," but then he just hit Control Undo and just did it himself anyway.
Yeah.
So it's more of just like an opinion thing. I'm the sidekick. There's like Batman and Robin, but I'm like the Rock in the background.
Okay.
Not like the Rock, just like a pebble.
Oh, like a pebble in the back of the Batcave.
Yeah, as like background noise.
But and also for the because you have an interesting like deal sort of with David, where you edit the podcast. And you in return get a 30-second show.
25 seconds.
Thank you for correcting me. You get a 25-second show at the end of his podcast.
Correct.
And
in the middle.
What is that show called?
Basically, David and Jason were gonna film their podcast, and they asked me to do it. And rather than taking money, which would have happened, I asked for a 25-second spot within their podcast. So I created my own podcast within their podcast called Joe's Teeny Weeny Podcast.
Yeah.
And I started off with, "What's up, weenies?" And the fan base are teeny weenies.
Teeny weenies.
And yeah. And then, so like as far as
you
like...
would rather do that than money?
100%.
Why?
How much money would I get for sitting there and editing a podcast? Like, be real.
$200?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where I can just get like promo and just like...
You want to like build your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Like...
Because to you, that's more valuable.
100%.
Building an audience.
Like doing like social media and stuff, like, are you in it for the long haul or not? And like, you got to realize like, is like getting like $100, $200 worth it, or like growing your audience better?
Yeah.
And like...
So if I came to you and I said, "Joe, I'm going to give you $1 million, or I will give you 10 million followers," what would you do?
Probably 10 million followers.
Really?
Yeah.
If I said $1 million, here's a briefcase full of $1 million. And all the food you can eat for your mukbangs.
Oh, wow.
An unlimited supply, a lifetime supply of, what's your favorite food? weenies. A lifetime supply of teeny weenies.
Uh-huh.
And $1 million.
Right.
You take...
Probably 10 million followers. You wouldn't?
No.
Why?
Because that is crazy.
You can get like 5 brand deals and make that $1 million within that.
You don't know that.
Months.
You don't know you're gonna get those brand deals.
Well, if I have 10 million followers, my engagement's popping, and people love me, of course you'll get it.
I don't know, man. I just know that if you got $1 million, you'd be able to invest in stocks or something and grow that.
Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he's fishes forever.
Just hit yourself in the face.
Yeah. But like, do you know that? Or
Yeah,
no?
I know what you mean. I know the expression. But I also don't believe that if you have millions of followers, that means that you're like popping. Not all people who have 1 million followers are wealthy. Case in point. You know what I mean? Like
that's just because, are you playing the game?
What game?
The game of like there's just like different ways to like do things, and it's like basketball players, like one guy could just like go out and just play the games and just get paid a salary, whereas another guy can go out, play the game, and then he can come out with his own program on how to shoot, how to dribble, and he can market that, and then from there he can go like do basketball camps, and then from there he can go get like an announcing job. Like,
yeah,
it's just a matter of like how you push yourself and like network your way around where you can just like bring in different sources of income. The average millionaire has 6 different sources of income.
Gotcha.
And it's just a matter of how you can bring it in.
So you're saying that if you had that 10 million followers, that's like the equivalent of everything you just said.
100%. Because you'll be able to like, let's say you have like 10 million followers, you'll get brand deals. You'll be able to get like the ad revenue. Like, for me, I also like edit for people. And like, I'll like cut vlogs, I'll like shoot videos for people. So like there's like that whole thing.
Yeah.
So then my credibility goes up even more. And it's just a matter of like that, of like how you're able to push yourself. Yeah.
I just, part of me, if you told that to somebody who's 40, what you just told me, that like I'd rather take 10 million than the million, their head would explode.
Because odds are they don't know how to
use it and how to work it.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how you utilize what you're given.
But you got that young millennial brain.
I know. I'm an 18-year-old stud who's ready to take on the world.
Is that on your resume?
Yep.
Nice. So also, Joe.
Hey, babe.
People for some reason think you're gay.
What?
Yeah. People.
What?
Why'd you look so insulted?
I don't know.
People for some reason think you're gay.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I made a video called Am I Gay?
Oh, that probably did it. That's probably what did it.
No, I think it's because I'm always like smiling and happy. So I think people perceive that as gay for some reason, which is not like the worst thing to have. Like, oh God, you're always enjoying life and you're happy. Gay.
It's so funny that it's like being happy is what people think you're gay. I don't think that applies. It's not like if someone's constantly sad, they're like, asexual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't apply for anything else, really. But like your mood mixed with your sexuality.
Right.
Because you're always happy.
Yeah.
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 How do you do that?
Mindset.
How? Please tell me.
It's like mind over matter. I'll tell you what changed my life.
Go ahead. Tell me what changed your life.
And it's going to sound stupid. There's very, like, bizarre things that have, like, molded me into the person I am. So, like, have you ever seen the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
So, that movie, like, revolutionized me to just saying yes to everything, no matter what. Which was, like, it was a good movie. It wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
But it was just, like, that idea. Like, just say yes. Like, try it. You never know until you try. And it's true. You never know until you try. So, like, I was watching Malcolm in the Middle, and Frankie Muniz, Malcolm, asked Reese how he's able to just like do everything and like not care about consequences, and it's because there's a switch in his brain and he just turns it off and he doesn't think about things. So like when you're able to control your mind and just like turn off that switch that's like, oh, don't do this, or oh man, this is gonna be so bad down the road. Once you turn that switch off, you're able to like fly.
Do anything.
Yeah. Once I was like, oh wow, like if you can like master that concept, you're able to just like do whatever.
But don't you think that you should have some of those barriers? Don't you think those barriers are normal?
But that's why it's a switch, and you just turn it on and off whenever you want.
Yeah.
It's not just like constantly there.
But what if you turn the switch off, and then the switch breaks, and then it's constantly off.
Well, then you should hire somebody to fix it.
That's what therapy's for.
Yeah.
But since you've employed this Malcolm in the Middle mindset, Malcolm in the Middle mindset.
Yeah.
You have found life to be easier and more fulfilling.
100%.
Okay.
There was like something the other day too, where I was like, oh, okay. So like, I do like videography, and when people will hire me for jobs, I get like a little anxious of like, oh, well, I need to keep that day open because what if something better or bigger comes up and like I'm not getting paid that much for it. Like once you're able to just like turn that switch off and like, you know what? Why am I worrying about this now? When something happens, I'll worry about it. I don't need to waste all of this time being antsy thinking about something that's probably not even going to happen. And 9 times out of 10, the thing that I'm worrying about never happens anyway. So it's like, there's no reason to be like bugging out over stuff. So if you just turn that switch off, it's like, hey, worry about it when it happens. Okay, good idea. And they're like,
yeah, worrying about the future, you think, when the future is not even like,
yeah,
it's because it's not real.
Yeah, and it's like things that are out of your control, which like might not happen.
Yeah.
So like, for example, there was something, like I had like something like booked or whatever, and then out of nowhere I got a call to do Fashion Week with Tom Ford.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh wow, that happened one time back in February or whenever it was. Mm-hmm. Like now whenever I like say, yeah, let's do this in a month, I'll be like, oh, but what if like that Tom Ford thing happens again? Like, why am I worrying about it? That literally happened one time, and if it happens, I'll just cancel. It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I get very anxious about things and have anxiety, like heavy anxiety about like random things that don't matter.
Don't they usually involve both the past and the future?
Yeah.
That usually doesn't have anything to do with the present.
Right. It's just based on those past experiences and things that I think might happen.
Yeah. There's a big relief in living in the moment is actually what I've realized recently. It's very nice to do that.
Jesus Christ.
Huh?
He said that.
Really?
I don't know.
How many followers does he have?
12?
12?
What do you have?
Dude, more than that.
Wow, you're bigger than Jesus, huh?
I wonder if Jesus would like to do a collab with me. Do you think he would?
Probably. He's trying to build up his social media. He should.
Nice. Dude, is he verified?
No.
If he's not verified, I can't work with him. So if I'm having anxiety, then what I would do would be to focus on what's happening in front of me as opposed to what's happening in my brain.
Right.
Because really what's happening in my brain isn't real. Like, thoughts aren't real.
Right, you're overthinking things, you're overanalyzing things.
Yeah.
Stop overanalyzing things.
Yeah, but if you keep replaying them in your head, they gain a voice, and then they feel much more real and impactful. When in reality, it's just a series of suggestions that your brain is throwing. Just like, maybe this will, maybe that, maybe that. Ow.
Jesus.
My God.
Exactly. It's the same concept where, like, let's say me and you were in a committed relationship and we were in love. However, you were like you're like, oh, I think Joe's cheating on me. Joe might be cheating on me.
Mm.
So you're like literally finding excuses to be like, oh my God, Joe's cheating on me. And you build it up so much in your head that eventually you're just creating all this chaos of, okay, he's definitely cheating on me. And you find every single excuse that like I am. When in reality, I'm like just literally like existing.
It's really what your anxiety is doing is it suggested something to you that you're latching onto, that you're making real in your head.
Yeah.
That you're just constantly reaffirming and going like, oh, Joe's cheating on me. Like, oh, Joe, he has to be because he's, oh, that phone call that he just did. Like, oh,
like,
that must have been, who was he
with?
on the phone with? It was probably somebody like, it's probably John or whatever. It was, and him and John have been friends for a long time or whatever. You know what I mean?
They
like,
must have hooked up before, whatever.
Yeah.
So like, that's like mind over matter, but in the negative sense where your brain is creating something that didn't physically happen.
But you know what? It's this is just for cheating in general.
What?
A friend of mine got cheated on.
What's his name?
I can't say his name.
Tell me.
No, a friend of mine got cheated on, and he said for a year he didn't know he was being cheated on.
Okay.
And then after he found out, he was devastated.
Oh.
And he was like, oh, like all that time that I spent with that person's all like gone away. Like it's all, none of it was real. It didn't matter, whatever.
Poor guy.
And then his dad told him, well, no, it did, because that whole time that though he was cheating on you, you were really happy with that guy, right?
Right.
And he was like, yeah. He was like, there was something terrible happening, but you were completely unaware of it, and you were happy. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, and if you knew, and if you were anxious and suspicious that this guy was cheating on you, even though he was, that whole year would have been spent in paranoia and fear and all this stuff, right?
Right.
He's like, yeah. And he's like, well, what would you rather have? A year of happiness that is followed by maybe like a few years of sadness, or a year of paranoia and distrust, followed by the same thing? And when you really weigh those two things, because like, if a shitty person's going to do something like that, then they're going to do something like that. You know?
It's out of your control.
It's out of your control. It's going back to what you're saying. It's out of your control. So to worry about it, there's no real point until it happens, you find out somehow about it. I don't know.
People have no control over anything other than how they handle things.
Yep.
So for example, let's say that tree just fell. That's a terrible example. Like literally the worst possible things could be happening, but like it's a matter of how I handle it, and that's going to give me my experience of how I'm in that moment for whatever is going on around me.
Yeah. However, yeah, reactionary.
Right.
It's just life's a series of reactions. Dude, in regards to mind over matter, I read a story once about a guy who was in...
Everything that you say like is about a guy, I just picture it all being about you.
I know you do. I was like, oh, he's gonna think that this is like that year about cheating that had to do with me. It didn't, but this story definitely can, because this is about a guy who had an ice cream truck, and he locked himself in it one day, and he thought, oh my God, I'm locked in this ice cream truck. He got horrible anxiety, and he was like, I'm going to freeze to death because the freezer thing's on, and I'm trapped here.
When did you buy an ice cream truck?
A long time ago. Anyways, he's doing that, and then he the cops and the ambulance finds him the next day, and they see that he's dead from frostbite.
Is this like a made-up tale, or is this
no?
real?
This is real. This is real. He has frostbite, and
so how do people know what he was thinking when he was locked in the box?
Well, no. Well. This is where it gets interesting.
Ooh.
So he has frostbite, and then they discover that the freezer wasn't plugged in.
Uh-huh.
The freezer wasn't plugged, so like there was no way for him to physically get frostbite from that freezer.
Okay.
So what happened was his brain thought that he was going to die from being frozen.
Yeah.
And he made that happen.
Uh-huh.
Because he was so much adrenaline, and his brain was going like, oh my God, I'm going to die from this.
Whoa.
That he ended up killing himself when there wasn't any danger.
Wow.
I know.
Is that real?
That's a real story.
How is that possible?
I have no clue. I didn't look into the forensics of it, but that's a real story. But yeah, just like, that just made me realize that mind over matter is actually a thing, because you can literally change, you can kill yourself by just thinking that there's danger, or thinking that there's something wrong.
That's insane.
I know. All right, you ready to go?
Let's get some hot dogs, huh?
No.
Huh?
No, thanks.
Brandon, don't, love you.
Oh, okay, cool.